It's a humid day. It's not really cold, but hot. I mean, not hot, but humid air. Humid. Like that. Beautiful day and not messy. Anyway, so today, y'all know the situation, the place that I stay. I'm not gonna do too many updates about it, simply because I feel that it's irrelevant to my productivity. However, when certain situations happen that are, what I would consider heightened or staged things that could lead to a bigger problem, then I do highlight it. So today, around 10:30ish in the morning, the daughter is in the house, and she's going through the house slamming doors. For what purpose, I don't know. But usually when a person's slamming doors, it's because they're frustrated, they're angry, they're mad. Something has upset them. Something has disgruntled them. And unfortunately, I don't interact with them, especially the children of the person who invited me there. I don't interact with them. So, of course, I didn't say, what's wrong, what's the matter, because, I stay in my space until it's time for me to go do whatever it is that I need to do that pertains to me. So at least 3 or 4 times today, within a span of, let's see, what time is it now? It's about 2:24. So 10, 11, 12, 21, 1 to 2, within a span of 4 hours, there's been like 4 extremely hard door slams. And she's the only person that's usually home at the house in the daytime. Like, if I ever happen to be there, it's her that's there. No one else that I know of. But anyway, I really am not a fan of that person anyway, because one day I came in the house, and it was roughly a month ago, and she and her friends were conducting some type of oral sex orgy party right in the middle of the living room. So I'm coming up the steps, and mind you, I hadn't met her in person. So, and I still haven't tentatively met her in person. I just know her face, I know her face, and I know the truck she drives because I see her, coming and going sometimes. And she's in there. There's a long sofa. Now, coming into the door, she's to my right. She's on my right. Then there's a boy in the middle. Then there's a girl in the middle of his legs, with her face in the middle of his legs. Not just in the middle of his legs, but her face is in the middle of his legs, doing what. And then there's another chubby girl, because the daughter, she's a little on the chubby side. She's not fat, but she's a little chubby. And it could be kid, you know how kids are. They carry weight until their adulthood, and then it usually sheds off. But her friend is a little chubby. She's on the side as well. And now her and her friend on the opposite side, which is on my left, they have phones. So I don't know if they were recording or what was going on, but you could literally hear me jingling the keys to get into the door because the hallway was dark. And at no point did any of them stop or apologize for their lewd behavior or nothing. They just kept on as if they didn't even see me. And the only thing that happened was the girl whose face is in the guy's penis area, she hurried up and turned around, and then she looked at me like this, and then turned right back around and went back to what she was doing. And he looked at me like he didn't have no kind of concern of, oh my gosh, an adult just walked in the door, or oh my gosh, this person, you understand what I'm saying? And that bothers me, to see this type of conduct. And I bear witness with my bare eyes. And luckily for me, my camera wasn't whirling, because that would have been nothing but teenage porn or whatever age bracket they're in, because I don't know what age they're in. But y'all, people who know me, y'all know I'm an older person. So to me, they're little kids. So I was very and extremely disturbed by it. But what really gets me is how, like, you know, y'all see on these videos, they try to act like they're so innocent and they're so, oh, we didn't do anything. Oh, I have 10 hours of work. I want to be on the camera. And I'm just like, 10 hours of work? There's times when I went from an 8-hour shift, 0 sleep, and went to do the 10-hour shift. Laid down, had to travel 3-4 hours, laid down for less than an hour, had to get back up to leave out early, so to go do another 10-hour shift, to go do another 8-hour shift, back to back to back to back, getting very little sleep in between. But never did I sit back and say, oh, woe was me. Meanwhile, I'm staying in this place and they're disturbing my sleep, banging around the house, making lots of noise, you know, being a disturbance on purpose. Sometimes turning up the TV or the music really loud and laughing to try to make it seem like, ha ha ha, we could do whatever we want. I remember one day I was cleaning up. You know, I don't make a mess, but I was cleaning up because it was a tiny mess. And when I say tiny mess, every now and again I will just like take my garbage from what I'm using and I'll set it on the floor. I'll start going through things that I have. I'll bring things in and go through it and start throwing mass stuff away because I don't want to be a hoarder. And so I was just basically doing that. And I always spray around and clean and stuff because I'm a very tidy person in general. And so I have a little behind tablet. And my little ass tablet can't even get loud like that. And it was just playing some little quiet music. She come knocking on the, excuse me, I'm trying to sleep. This is the daytime. This is like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm trying to sleep. Can you please turn the music down? I'm looking and I'm like, yo, if this little girl don't get off this door, she gonna find out that I don't discriminate real quick. But she left. Because I told her, shut up, because I'm getting ready to leave. That's exactly what I said. I said, shut up, because I'm getting ready to leave. Because I was. I literally had my music on for less than 10 minutes. Because I was already done. I had my headphones on. Bumblebee. I hate bumblebees, but they love me because of my sweet blood. I'm sorry, y'all. The bumblebees are out. I got sweet blood. I just don't want to get stung because I'm allergic to their nasty bites that they be touching on honey and stuff. Make sure it didn't go down my shirt. But anyway, because, you know, I don't like people disrespecting me and bothering me because they are angry. You don't go around doing stuff like that. And you don't go around deliberately bothering people just because you feel that you can. Because what ends up happening is somebody's going to come and deliberately bother you one day. And they're not going to let up on you. And I've seen that in 2 instances in less than a week's time, most recently. So I know it's going to happen to her because, you know, for whatever reason, she feels like she's so high and mighty or whatever. And I'm just like, I know how it is when you young, you got a car, you know, you living in a nice space, things feel good in life, but you never go so far to disrespect somebody else just because you feel you can. Especially me. Because I don't take stuff lightly. Like, anybody who know me know, like, yo, this girl is so nice, she's so caring, she's so kind, but if you get this child mad, she's such a problem. And I'm like, yo, I'm really trying to be kind. I'm really honest to God. I'm trying to just keep brushing it off. But see, I ain't going to keep brushing stuff off if I know that someone's deliberately pestering at me just because they get some kind of thrill out of it. You know what I mean? So I was very disturbed by walking into the house. It was roughly a month ago, maybe a month and a half, because I'm realizing it's starting to go on 3 months. So it was quite some time ago, but I remember I remember it because I've been plagued by the memory of seeing that, and it just, every time I walk in the door, I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna see now? Like a whole nudist colony or something. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna get to see. You know what I'm saying? And it's extremely disturbing because, you know, you're still a kid. Even if somebody gets to the point where you're over age 18, by legality, yeah, you're considered an adult, but your life experience is still at a kid level. And if you're still living at home with your parents, I don't care what your age is, you're still a kid. And that's how it is. If you're still living at home with your parents, no matter what your age is, unless your parents are in a situation where they need you to be their caregiver, you're still a kid. You know, when you're living on your own and you don't live in the same space as your parents, then you can kindly consider yourself an adult, provided you have other adult qualities, you know, handling your responsibilities like an adult, things of that nature. But again, terribly disturbed by that. And I was utterly bothered by just in general having to be in such a space and see that. And prior to that, after that, her getting an attitude with me playing my music, when they come in there and they literally blast the music, they literally blast the TV, they literally stomp through the house and be disturbing on purpose to create an uncomfortable environment, probably with the intent to get me out of there. But I'm just like, you could do that. I'm like, I lived in all kinds of places and I don't budge easily. I would rather move out and not have any more drama between me and these people and the landlord who I was just now leaving. And he's trying to get my attention, but I'm not going to talk to him because the last conversation we had, I offered to keep contact with him so that way he could have any information from me that he required, but he did not want that. And I have a videographed where he said no. And so I said, okay, and there's nothing more to talk about. So if that changes, it's too late. I don't want to talk to you now. You know what I'm saying? The only conversation that we can have is that you have a paperwork for me from a judge requesting me to leave the premises, which is an eviction. And there is not that. So therefore, I haven't received that. And then the resident, the Maria girl, she told me they were moving out. She was going to let me know when. Then she told me they were going to come take the fridge out the room. She'll let me know when. She hasn't done either of those things, except just keep watching me as I come and go in the house, out the house. And I don't know. So I'm keeping my documentation, because if these people don't cut it out, they're going to have a lawsuit for me on their hands. And I don't let up. And neither do my attorneys. So I'm trying to be peaceful, and I'm trying to leave the premises according to what works for me without imposing on anybody else's happiness. But you can't harass me in the process. You can't harass me. You can't keep asking me questions, because I don't have to answer you anything. I don't have to provide anything further. This is crazy.